Hi, I'm Robert B. Mitchell. I'm delighted to announce that my new book, The Partisans, James T. Blaine, Roscoe Conkling, and the Politics of Rivalry and Revenge in the Gilded Age, is now available for pre-order on Amazon.com. As a writer and student of history, I found it immensely enjoyable to dig into the story of how Blaine of Maine and Conkling of New York fought for power and influence during the tumultuous years that followed the Civil War. Along the way, they encountered a cast of characters whose diversity reflects the varied voices and experiences of America in the second half of the 19th century. Let me introduce you to some of them. Chester Alan Arthur was a loyal Conkling lieutenant in the New York Republican machine who broke with his boss to accept the party's nomination for vice president in 1880 and became president following Garfield's death in September 1881. An acute judge of character and devoted wife and mother, Harriet Blaine counseled and supported her husband James. One contemporary remembered her as strong, dominant, partisan, intensely so, lacking just that balance that would have enabled her to keep back a clever retort or characterization trembling on her tongue when its utterance would be unpolitic, and who marched proudly on her way by her husband's side. Blanche Kelso Bruce was the new black senator from Mississippi who was ignored by his white colleagues when he attempted to present his credentials in 1875 until Conkling took him by the arm and escorted him to the clerk's desk. Bruce never forgot Conkling's courtesy. With the exception of Conkling, nobody got under Blaine's skin like Ben Butler, the radical Republican congressman from Massachusetts, who sparred with Blaine over Reconstruction and monetary policy. Frederick Douglass chastised Republicans during his speech at the party's 1876 convention for failing to do enough to support Southern blacks after the abolition of slavery. He admired Conkling, but had mixed feelings about Blaine. Scholarly, well-liked, and averse to conflict, President James A. Garfield found himself in the middle of the battle for power and influence waged by Blaine and Conkling that ended tragically when a delusional gunman shot Garfield in 1881. Ulysses S. Grant was the soft-spoken and unassuming Union Army hero who served 2 terms as president and whose political alliance with the bombastic and belligerent Conkling represented the most improbable partnership of the Gilded Age. Orator and agnostic controversialist Robert G. Ingersoll of Illinois delivered one of the most memorable political speeches of the 19th century when, at the 1876 Republican Convention, he described Blaine as a Republican plumed knight and bearer of the sacred standard of the Republican Party. Sarah Jane Lippincott, writing under the pen name Grace Greenwood in the New York Times, described Conkling's oratorical style thusly: if, after mashing the head of a fallacy, he passes triumphantly on, he is apt to go back and pound at the innocuous reptile while there is a wriggle of life left in the tail. Black Republican John R. Lynch represented Mississippi in the House and challenged Grant and Blaine as the party retreated from Reconstruction. The daughter of Abraham Lincoln's Treasury Secretary, Kate Chase Sprague, was unhappily married to an alcoholic former senator from Rhode Island. Her affair with Conkling burst into the headlines in 1879 after her drunken husband challenged Conkling in public and threatened to kill him. These are just some of the personalities you will find in The Partisans, now available for pre-order at Amazon.com and published by Edinburgh Press.